Hello, everybody. It's Monday night. It's time for a nice slice of crack. That sounds pretty horrendous.
That's quite dark. Yeah,
it is quite. Not even a minute in, and I'm going down that route. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Plastic Crack Podcast, Season 4, Episode 37. We're a man down. We're a man down currently. Ken will be joining us presently, I think. I think he's off adulting, isn't he? He's off doing adult stuff.
He's doing baby-related things.
Right, yeah, baby-related things from Ken. But he should be here. But I am joined by Martin, Seventh Son, and AOL dial-up Dom down there. Who's that?
I can't help it. I tried to get the damn webcam to work, and it just would not do it. At least I'm not breaking up just yet.
No. We can hear you at least. That's the main thing. As Dom has been whisked back in time to 1997, and one of those CD things used to get through the door with that Connie woman on. AOL dial-up. Brilliant. Before we go on, big thank you.
Retro, love it.
That's very retro. I can't even imagine what computer I was using back then. Probably a really, really crap one. Big thank you to everyone that's watching this on the catch up. Massive thank you. Always appreciate.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Jerry. Big thanks to everyone watching the catch up. We do appreciate it. I'm going to do all the YouTube stuff now. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channels down below. All that stuff that everyone seems to think is like the way to go, but it just annoys the hell out of me.
Do it to annoy Steve.
No, don't do it to annoy Steve, because Steve will get annoyed. Yeah. I don't want to be annoyed. So don't forget, we are proudly sponsored by the kind chaps over at Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. If you use the code PCP5 when you're checking out your hobby goodness, you get an additional 5% discount on top of the already funky discount that Boards and Swords do for you whenever you shop at their store. So tonight's theme, your hobby, your way. We'll get to it later on, but yeah, it's how do we all hobby? What's the different ways that we hobby? It's quite generic, I guess, but this has been fueled by my venturing into weird stuff. I mean, very, very weird stuff.
Venturing.
You just jumped both feet in and disappeared up to your friggin' door or beyond.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more than venturing at the moment, but it is.
It's like a full expedition with Sherpas and
oxygen masks and all kinds of stuff. But it'll be interesting to see, how people approach the hobby. Are you methodical in what you do? You're a bit judicious in your approach, or are you completely caught up in every single hype and buy every rule book and every shiny box of figures that comes out? Do you worship regularly the altar of Perry miniatures, Dom? Yeah.
Is this all directed at me, this whole show? What's going on?
I was going to say, I bet that stung. I bet that cut deep. All those things were you.
No. It only stings if you try and deny it. I don't try and deny it. It's fine.
Right, let's see who we've got here tonight. So, Lazy Pirate Painting is here. Hello. Hey. He is currently he's working on Kings of War, Northern Alliance Tribesman. Hey. Sounds interesting. Rogue Tribute, John Sowerby. Good afternoon from a dark and stormy South Florida. It's just been grey and miserable around here today.
It's been bloody hot here.
Yeah, the weekend was. Yeah. I mean, I was convinced. 23 degrees in October. There's got to be a James Bond supervillain somewhere with a big weapon. That sounds even worse. A big weather weapon. A big weapon. What the? That didn't come out right. Oh, jeez. I've really not had enough coffee today. I do apologise for that. So yeah, it was really warm over the weekend. Lionheart's here. Paul's hurt his back. No painting for me tonight. As someone that constantly suffers with bad backs, I feel your pain, Paul. I really do. Hope you're feeling better soon. Benjamin here is working on the last of his Flames of War stuff for CrackCon. Red Steph, Andrew J.F. Carl is working on his Dead Man's Hand project. It's been on the shelf for 2 years. Martin, he blames you for this.
I don't really know if there's any point in just saying I'm sorry anymore.
No,
I'm not sorry though, because it's a great game. It's an amazing game.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
sorry.
it's getting
sorry,
people
not
in.
sorry.
And anytime you get to paint up one of those Gunfighters boxes by Great Escape Games, just one of my favorite kits ever released. Hey, John's here. Oh, where's it gone?
Hey.
Even you're finally made to a live one.
Hey.
Ah, John. Oh, hope you're doing well, mate. What was that? That sounds like a rabbit.
It must be Dom.
It's got to be Dom. There was like a pitter patter of noise then.
David that means trying to turn up my volume probably. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Apologies. Okay. Either that is Ken up to whatever he's up to. I don't know.
You can't even blame him. He's not here. Well, we can blame him. He's not here. We'll still blame him. Steve Harbour, Walkabout Games, Ham and Jam. He's currently painting Nazgul. What, the old Nazgul?
Oh.
The old classic 90s Nazgul, because that's going back a bit, isn't it? Terrifying looking model. It might be the new one because he's put so expensive. Harpham's here, even though it's been a while. Hi, Joe. Hope you're doing well. Tequila Dave he's painting his Duchy of Warsaw. Tequila Dave. It's Tequila Dave. He's here.
I know. It's what Haley because his how's Tequila
Dave. Yeah, he's painted his Duchy of Warsaw for CrackCon Fortnite. Looking forward to seeing those. Dan Justin's here from Los Angeles, Mini Agnostic, painting Prussian Dragoons. I can seriously I've never painted any Prussian Dragoons in my life.
Do you feel better for that or worse?
Better for my complete and total sanity. Just sounds awful. Here's someone speaking my language. So Dan is currently painting more Blitzkrieg Germans. There we go. Mobile Hostel is painting Praetorian Guard for Star Wars Legion. With a Stormtrooper Lightspeed Pilsner. I think I've had one of those. Very, very nice crisp beer. The Stormtrooper Pilsner. Matt Falls, Ralph Ashdown, even go from rural Normandy. Ian Wright, basing 15mm Anglo-Saxons tonight. Alad. Oh, Alad has COVID. I hope you're feeling better, mate.
No.
But he'll be out of isolation for CrackCon. Yay, that's always good.
Hey, good.
Traj is here from the Lake District. Storm and Steel, hello, Alex. Hope you're doing well, mate. Rich M is putting together some Frostclaw riders for his first foray into Kings of War. Mortzuk, so hello, Jonas. He's painting 2 Panzer IVs. Gary Wallace. I'm going to try and pronounce this, but I don't know if I can. Kriokinazi? Kriokinazi? I don't recognise your name, but is it your first time here? If so, welcome. There's usually 4 of us. Like I say, we're a man down.
You got us on a good day.
You got us on a good day. Yeah. Well, may not last very long. Mini Agnostic, Neil Oldham. What else is here? Craig Williams. Barnes White, evening all. Hello. Nick Games, The Stoic Steve, Adam Kirtley, Mike Jones, Friends of General Haig. Hi, Andy. Hope you're doing well, mate. Is our favourite. It's Cardboard Fortress. He's making some progress on Theoden tonight. Cardboard. I really want a Cardboard Fortress. Shakers and Spurs. Hello, James. Hope you're well, mate. Marky Sparky, Gary Clark, Karazet, Double Dip.
Steve, you seen that episode of Community when they make the big pillow fort?
No.
Community? No?
I know of it. I've never seen it.
There's this one episode, there's 2 episodes where they film it. It's filmed a bit like a Civil War documentary with the same kind of narration, and they build this humongous pillow fort and have a war. It's okay, right? I'll shut up.
Can we do that CrackCon 5? Do you reckon Ian will let us do that CrackCon 5?
I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Boxes. I'm sure he wouldn't care.
Yeah, doing the car park outside, he'd be happy.
That car park's going to be very busy one day. There's going to be action men wargaming, pillow forts, and live medieval jousting by the sounds of things. So we got Double Dip, Old School FRP, Big City. Hello, Don. What's this you talk of, Don? Good evening, happening, foreign devils. Hope you're all well. Hope you're doing well, Don. What are you painting tonight, mate? Simon Stokes is here. Nigel Jones. Rich John, Paul Crouch. It's a wonderful wargaming day in the neighbourhood. Yes, it always is. Well, unless you're painting Napoleonics, everything that is not. Rogue Trooper, Robin Ovens. Robin's here. Matt Wright, Rob and Rose Hobden. Jerry, we know Jerry's here. Push button A to talk to an operator. Across the pond, Colin, evening all hope as well. Hello, Colin. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yes, there we go. The AOL free disc.
Oh, I remember.
I think everybody had at least 4 million of those at one point.
They'd be brilliant now for basing things.
I was going to say they'd be brilliant now. I use them all the time for basing.
Yeah.
They work better with Smith CDs, I've heard. You know, if you use a Smith CD, you get a better quality of terrain over it because you can't play it anymore. I apologise in advance to any Smith fans. I may have offended them. Gary Clark. Really no, I don't. Miller's here. Hello, Miller. How are you doing, mate? Not Ben. M is here. Yes, he. Ben sadly chases the shiny things. I think we all chase the shiny things.
Guilty.
Yeah, Dom. We don't even need you to comment on that, mate. Jack Todd is here. Black's Cleric. Yorkshire Dragoon. Hello, Tim. How you doing? Well, mate. Jason Horn. Where's the part timer? He's currently doing adult stuff. He'll be with us presently. So
we furloughed him.
Not the best, really.
We shall all wait for his arrival. We got else. It's going to do that thing. Paul Parker. Is Dom using mood lighting tonight? Reds Fence 76. What's going to do that thing? James P. Wargaming. Oh, hello, James. First time I've painted some British artillery for Black Power.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome to the stream. Alex Price, working on the industrial section of his bolt action layout. That sounds really rather good to me.
I did terrain as well tonight. Good.
Grim Tim. Awesome. He is eating breakfast and going to paint a Rubicon 25121 drilling. That sounds rather. You don't really see too many of those on the table. Old school FRP. Oh, David Thew. I'm at the bottom, so I got through and nothing vanished. Not even Dom. Dom didn't vanish. He's still here. He's still with us. So far. But the night is still young. There is still time. Right. So what has everybody been up to? Dom, while you're here, we'll go to you first. What have you been up to?
Look, hang on then. I have been... I did a couple of things this week. I have been working on the epics again. So this is the Green Regiment, Swedish Regiment for 30-year war.
Very nice.
Is this an obsession now? Is this now officially an obsession?
It is. I don't know when compulsion or addiction becomes an obsession, but whichever one, it's probably is in the obsession phase at the moment. Yeah. It's most bizarre. I'm actually... Because I really struggled initially to sort of get my head around painting them, and then I realised you don't really have to put that much effort into them. So they're absolutely perfect for me because that's my rule number 4 or whatever it is on my mug from Martin. But these literally were so simple. I just sprayed them green with an undercoat and then just picked out a bit of detail on them and bit of a Bob's your auntie. They're all done. So yeah, good. So. But also because James was very disappointed last week that I did change the Prussian landwehr into Opel Cheney, I thought I'd do a unit of landwehr just for the sheer hell of it. So
are they Opel Cheney painted as landwehr?
Yeah, they are. Dead right. Yeah. I just thought they were fun to do. They look rather lighter blue than they actually are. I think the camera just made them a bit brighter than they really are. But yeah, they're boring figures, aren't they? But they're easy to paint,
they are.
So,
I think I painted 12 and then just completely gave up.
I did
I did all sorts of
proper landwehr. James approves.
There you go. Yes. So I did do sort of half of my castle project today on a little trip out because I'm back up in Ludlow again. So anybody who's excited about castles, actually I've been a bit disappointed because there wasn't really much of it. But anyway, whatever. So we did another castle on the list. So there you go.
How many are left now?
About 100.
500.
About 105, something like that on my list. There's considerably more if we chose to go wider afield, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's dedication for you. Good stuff. I've got to take some hints and tips because I'm stuck on my pike and shot stuff. I'm stuck. I can't. I don't know. I need to find a way of doing it quickly because I'm going back to that painting them too detailed. So I need to stop that malarkey as soon as possible because it ain't going to work.
Just whack it on and move on.
I might just have to do that. Brilliant.
Good philosophy.
Good philosophy on life, that.
Whack it on and move on.
Yes.
Exactly.
Martin.
I'm not even going to go any further with that one at all.
I don't want to go. Martin, what have you been up to, mate? Don't say. Don't agree with what he just said.
I have no strong feelings one way. No. What have I been doing? I've been working on lots of different things at once. There's been a sudden influx of stuff that I need to work on across. So I've got about 4 different things on my painting desk. I'm currently working on palisades and towers for the First Crusade, 15mm scenery, 15mm little dudes. I've got some Test of Honor stuff that I'm working on. And then some other bits and bobs. But I finished my next base of heavy cavalry. I showed off one base last week, so I've done the next base. I'm kind of just doing, trying to paint multiple things up at once. So there's the next base for my Saracen heavy cavalry. I quite like the guy leaning forward, about to stick someone with that. There they are.
Judging by your past performances with having dead people stuck on the end of spears in your thing, well, I'm surprised you didn't have some poor Arab figure or something down on the floor being trampled and skewered as he went over the top. But there you go.
Yeah. Well, they'd be on the same side, so that's not. That's not a good thing.
Does that ever bother them?
It's true. And then here they are with the other unit. The other base. So you can just see. So I can field them as a small unit, as they are at the moment. So that's a lot of. They're a lot of fun to do, but I'm just going to just try to. I still need more cavalry, and I think this is my 6th unit of cavalry or something like that. No, they are. These are Victrix. They're not Reconquer. Am I using 2-tone sand basing pumice? I'm using the Sandy Desert and then the completely different Desert Sand by AK Interactive. So I put them both. I just kind of spoon them onto the base in different areas, and then I use a wet sponge to blend them, and then I chuck random bits of sort of stone and stuff that I found from outside, and make sure that it sort of goes over the top, because it acts when it dries. It looks like dusty sort of material that's been left on them, and then while it's still wet, I put all of the tufts and everything on there. I do while it's still wet. With these guys have integral bases, so I stick them on first and then work around it. But if they don't have integral bases, I stick those in with super glue while the paste is still wet, and everything just cements quite nicely. Although it means you have to work quick, so you've got to be sure that you've got like 15 minutes spare to do it, and that there isn't a child sort of about to go, "Daddy," and then you leave it and you come back and it's dried at weird angles. So I got them done. Just got one more base to do for them, and then I finished. I'm quite pleased with this. I finished a command base for my little 15 mils.
Oh, little guys! Yeah.
This is John de Warenne, the 6th Earl of Surrey. There he is. And yeah, he was fun. I really like these little knights. They're just loads of fun. So painting these up, so he was the I'm going to get the battles wrong, but basically he beat the Scots 3 times. He lost at can't remember which one he lost at now, but then he beat them again afterwards. But he was in. What's quite cool again is he was present he's in the Second Barons' War. He switched sides, believe it or not, like everybody does in history.
Really?
And then he's quite active. Yeah, these are 15s. And then he's active in the Welsh campaigns, and he's active in the Scottish campaign. So even though these miniatures are all primarily designed for the Scots War of Independence, they're usable, across that whole period. So yeah, I just thought I'd just do a little base. So the thing is, I didn't want to do the checkered pattern on them, so I just thought I'd go with sort of like a general yellow and blue, just so they've got a bit of his colouring on them, if that makes sense. So because again, the thing is, like, it's bad enough in the Wars of the Roses, but you at least you've got some kind of known livery colours, whereas these guys, you've just got coats of arms, and that's it. So I'm just kind of doing a bit like Dom's doing, even though we know there were green regiments, black regiments, and red regiments in the Swede army. I'm just doing sort of a generic sort of red and yellow scheme for the English, with the odd sort of more colourful chap thrown in, and then I'll probably just be incredibly stereotypical and just do a sort of a blue and white one for the Scots. So the thing is, the main thing I want to do is the Second Barons War. So this is all going to be used for De Montfort. So the thing is, they're all standard English infantry, so they're all going to be fighting each other anyway, because whoever heard of a civil war with the Plantagenets? It's so the flag is by I can't remember who they're by. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. Oh my God, Ken's.
Oh God,
hang on. I'm just going to get rid of him while I finish talking, because he doesn't ruin that. But yeah, they were a lot of fun. They're really, really nice little minis.
Looking really good.
Really nice little.
They
minis.
They are. I say every time you post these, I just think they are so. I don't know. They're just chunky and ace.
They are quite chunky. They are pretty big for they're at the higher end of 15, and that's obviously how I've printed them. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm currently working on loads of scenery. Beautiful. Shall I put him back in now?
Yeah. Let me.
Is he frozen?
I think he is.
No, he's not. Welcome. It's the prodigal one has returned. Ken, how are you, mate?
Ill.
That sound good,
mate. When you got a kid, you're ill constantly because of all the things they bring home. So you might as well just get used to
I don't think they bring gout home.
You've got gout.
Gout?
Yeah, I've got gout in my big toe. Yeah.
Well, that is painful. I'll give it that.
The only person I know who had gout was Henry VIII.
I know a lot of people that have had gout.
Isn't it like I know it's stereotypical. Isn't it a sign of good living?
Been eating too much peacock.
No, it's not even. I don't even drink, do I? So it's not beer, and it's just a genetic thing that runs in my family, unfortunately. No,
I've seen you drink. I've seen you
very rarely. Very, very.
Every time we meet up.
Yeah.
Exactly. No.
So apart from battling gout, Ken, what have you been up to?
Not. Don't make me laugh, you prick. I haven't got COVID, which I'm really surprised about, because I thought I'd get COVID again. But no, apparently it's just like, I don't know, I think it's a chest infection or a cold as well, which is even more fun. I'm turning into you, Martin, for fuck's sake. Get everything wrong with me.
I never had gout. I didn't have gout.
Yeah, no.
Ah.
But Ken, don't worry, you're in esteemed company, because apparently Benjamin Franklin had gout as well.
It's fucking painful.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's the only way to even put it. Even the lady doctor said it's probably some of the worst stabbing pain you'll ever experience in your life. I was like, great. I said I can't really win though, and she went, why is that? I said, 'cause my wife's pregnant at the minute. She went, nope, you can't win.
You are buggered in every way.
Yeah, not much to be fair. Yeah, not much at all really. So yeah, that's me.
I'm so glad we waited for you.
Yeah,
quick
right.
medical update, then we'll move on. Right, Dom, brace yourself.
What you been doing, Steve? More weird shit.
I've been butchering pyramids again.
Oh God, can I switch off now?
Well, not really butchering them. I've been taking parts from their kits. So I know it's been mentioned many times on the Facebook group. A War Transformed by Osprey Games. So it's the newly released World War I horror, mystic, odd, creepy skirmish level game.
The one that's endorsed by Storm of Steel.
Absolutely. Yeah, Alex has written the foreword to it and everything.
Yeah.
He really hasn't. But I wasn't going to get involved, and then people were talking about all the kit bashing they had planned, and then James said he was getting involved in it. So I thought, oh God, I have to buy it now. And honestly, one of the quickest things I ever had delivered by Uncle Jeff. I ordered it at about 6:30 on the Thursday, and it was delivered at like 10 o'clock the next day. So I then decided I had to do some kit bashing. So I got some War Games Atlantic World War One German infantry and did this to them.
That's ace.
I don't know why, but you can take, like, it's called a pioneer squad. It's 2 men with them, multi grenades like that. And I just had this idea that I want to give them medieval shields. I don't know why, medieval helmets as well.
Like the Pavis shields from the mercenary kit, aren't they?
They are, yes.
That's a bit World War II field grey there, though, and it's Steve.
Yes, I couldn't really get. I was using field grey, but this is set in sort of an alternative where the uniforms don't really make much sense. So I'm gonna be doing people with like red trousers and all kinds of things like that, because
that's fucking cool.
It's apparently the Earth. I can't remember because I've only briefly skimmed. I was more interested in sticking things together. But yeah, it's just got a lot of kit bashing. But yeah, the guy with the helmet, I thought it was a Napoleonic Russian, but apparently, yeah, James said it's not. It's a Crimean Russian. But look at that helmet. Just look at it. It's a thing of absolute beauty. Look at that spike.
That is very cool.
So with because they're two. Actually, is that a Perry's head or a Warlord Games? It'd be Perry's, wouldn't it?
It would be if it's Crimea, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I have to do a bit of butchering with the neck because the heads don't fit on properly because War Games Atlantic have got that. It's kind of a flat surface for the heads to go on. So the guy on the far right, he's just a straight out the box infantryman. We've got an NCO there with his impressive headgear and equally impressive moustache. And then we've got two guys with grenades and shields with mud and barbed wire. So there's the 2 guys with shields. I don't know why. I just thought they might have shields to protect themselves when they're hoisting grenades. But yeah, and then I've been working more on my Eldar. I'm not going to call them Eldari because they're not. They're Eldar. So I've been working on a scout squad and I finished these at the weekend. Proper chuffed with these.
Oh, they are cool. Very nice.
I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Really nice figures to paint. Go together well. Excellent. As I was saying to Martin, I don't know what scale these are these days, but they're not 28. They're closer to sort of 35.
Are they plastic?
Yes, plastic Games Workshop.
That's lucky because I bought that kit about 5 years ago and it was that Finecast.
Oh, Finecast. I never got to work with Finecast. I almost bought years ago. I almost bought a Finecast Commissar. But I didn't buy it in the end. My mate said he had a Finecast figure and he dropped it, and the whole thing shattered just into pieces all over the place.
They tend to do that a lot.
So yeah, I didn't get to experience the awesomeness that was Finecast. But as Steve pointed out in the Facebook group, look, the cork is back. I started using cork basing again. But they were just so nice to paint.
The
really
Portuguese
just enjoyed.
And Spanish economy will be relieved again. That's all I'm going to say.
So that's a squad of scouts. I've done the Farseer, and today I've started the Dire Avengers. And I also started painted my Humber. I've been waiting for the Stowies to turn up, but it's been with the Royal Mail for 6.5 weeks.
Back to normal.
Nice one, guys. 6.5 weeks.
Nightmare, isn't it?
It hasn't even left a sort. It's not even left a sorting office yet. It's somewhere, but I don't know where. So I don't know. I don't want. The thing is, though, the company I bought from is like a really small family-run store, and I don't want to hassle them to, either give me a refund or send something out. It shouldn't be their responsibility. It really shouldn't. It's not their fault at all. Anyway, I get off my soapbox now. So that's what I've been up to. I'm just more Eldar. And Martin, don't worry. I'm going to be painting the Bushido figures soon as well.
Good.
They will be done. They will be done.
Excellent. I'll get them all painted up so I can lose because you can't be affected by anything that my faction has. I might have painted up a couple of things to bring because you basically nullify everything.
And plus, I've never played the game before, so beginner's luck and all that. Do you know what's really terrifying? In this time in 2 weeks, it'll all be over. We'll have.
It makes it sound like we're a cult. We're gonna
we are a cult.
No, not like Heaven's Gate or anything like that. I mean, the awesomeness of CrackCon 4 will be all done and dusted. Speaking of which,
recovering.
I had a song recommended in my YouTube recommendations by a band called the Tiger Lilies, and they got a song called Crack of Doom.
Amazing.
Crack of Doom.
Check out the Tiger Lilies. They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. That's all I'm going to say. They're brilliant. Right, let's get. Have we got? I'm going to get the right overlay now. Where we going for all four of us? There we go. Ken, you're going to be moving.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go. Everyone's back to where everyone should be, and everyone's.
I want to be on the top again. It's not fair.
You're back down there with you. you had your week at the top.
I did.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so onto the crux, the meat and potatoes of tonight's chat, and it's your hobby, your way. So it's all about how you go about hobbying. Do you, especially because we all run channels as well. I think. Do you think that changes people's approach to miniature painting or the hobby in general? Let's start with that question. And again, people in the chat, if you've got your own YouTube channel, is your content driven by what you paint, or is what you paint driven by just what you want to do? Dom, over to you, mate. So because you're like a
ultimate stitch up.
You're like a machine. You
Start
paint,
at 10.
You paint like some kind of industrial factory. So when you're, I know you're primarily you game a lot.
Yeah,
so is that your big driver for how you approach the hobby in general?
Yes, absolutely, and so yeah, I'm unashamedly, it's about the game for me. That's they're tokens, pretty tokens, but they're there to be played with. Otherwise, I can't see the point. So yeah, I'm driven by that. But I understand where you're coming from in the question in terms of, kind of, I know that, for instance, if I was just trying to do the channel just to sort of get extra views or, heaven forbid, actually make a little bit of money out of it, whatever it may be, I know that by focusing on something and sticking on it, you're going to do much better. And by bouncing around, which I do, I'm not. But that's fine, because the whole point of my channel was always my hobby journey and the different addictions I'm on. So, hang around. I'm sure there'll be something that comes along at some point that might interest you. Kind of is my approach.
Turn at 28.
Maybe you might have to wait a long time for that one. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I just think for me, if I tried to do something that wasn't what I was really enjoying, it would come through in the videos.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I can't just do what I'm enjoying and have a laugh, and it's the same actually with playing a game. We on Friday I had a game down the club, and it was a terrible game, and I'm not going to upload it, because, even though I recorded it, because it was just the most boring scenario. Nothing really happened, and it's it's like, what if I could put it up, because it was an interesting tactical thing, but I'd have to cut it to shreds, because it was just me moaning about how boring the scenario was.
I mean, you should put it up.
Which is something which does happen from time to time when it's a boring scenario. And Jonathan and Paul doing exactly what they needed to do to win the scenario, but hardly a shot was fired in the entire game.
The building.
Yeah, pretty much, mate. Pretty much. Yeah.
Sounds like Jono.
So I can't, that sort of thing is just very much what, I wouldn't show that sort of thing because it's boring. Same as if, heaven forbid, it was a complete crushing win one side or the other, and it just wasn't fun. What's the point? Just wouldn't do that.
Well,
so.
I was going to say, you've just, that's what Alex put. So it's constantly driven by what he likes to paint and play. And if you just went for what was popular, it would show in the output. I think that's spot on. I think if you're painting things, especially from a YouTube perspective, if you're painting things just for views, it shows in your output, because there wouldn't be that enthusiasm there for what you're doing. There wouldn't be that sort of passion for it's like, imagine if all of a sudden the the next shit hot thing was painting Napoleonic French line infantry, and everyone that was painting Napoleonic French was getting tens of thousands of views per video. Now imagine if I thought, well, I'll have me some of that. Now, can you imagine what that video would be like? It'd be the equivalent of it'd be the equivalent of me smashing myself in the head with a lump hammer.
Yeah, I know. So it'd be good views, wouldn't it?
It just wouldn't. And I think that whole passion would not come across. And I think, yeah,
I don't know. The passion for you hating it probably will.
Yeah, but I don't want to incur the wrath of those button counters. They might put a contract out on me or something.
No.
Shit.
I just think, the whole point of anything like this is it comes through very quickly if you're not serious.
Yeah.
Or you're not, you're positive.
We've all done videos, haven't we? I think you've done it. Everyone's done it once, haven't you? Where you've made a video and your heart's not in it, and you just kind of did it because you've either been, we're quite lucky because we sometimes get sent things, and you just kind of do it because you had to, and then you can tell sometimes because either you never make another video on that subject again, or you don't. You can tell in the video, and I can always tell. I know it sounds a bit weird myself because I'll be watching it back and I'll be editing it, and everyone's done it once. And there's one in particular that sticks in my mind, and I was watching it back going, I wouldn't watch this, and it's me. I would turn myself off watching this. So I, everyone, and you, it's whether or not you pay attention to that sort of level of self-awareness and go, no, do you know what, I'm gonna, but as you say, stick to doing things that I actually enjoy, because the enthusiasm is is what will drive people to watch you. Because if you can be enthusiastic about something, no matter if someone may not collect it, but they just enjoy watching the video.
I think that's what people have said, that whenever I do a turn at 28 video, they always say you can tell just through the video that I'm not doing this just because it's content. I'm doing it because I genuinely love painting and building turn at 28 regiments. It's just something that I've always enjoyed and always will. And I think I'd make videos even if they got sort of 1 or 2 views. I just think it's just more people need to know about turn at 28. Yes, Dom, they do. Quiet now.
You can tell the excitement that comes through your little hands bouncing up and down. You can tell.
Dancing hands. So Martin, okay. So with you then, with your projects, and I know you game a lot more than I do. So do you paint projects a game that then just happen to be made into videos, or have you got one mind on will this make a good video or not?
Do you mean for the battle reports? Do you mean
anything to where it's a battle report?
The project logs and things. Yeah, I basically just filmed what I want to do. I wanted to do Zulus. I wanted to do the First Crusade. I don't think I ever sat down and went, I think I know what's going to make good content. The First Crusade. That's going to be interesting. I don't think anyone's ever said that, and and hopefully people find it interesting, and it basically picks up interest that way. I'm just trying to think if I've occasionally done videos where I've done like a unit or something, and then they turned up in a battle report, and I've wanted to I did that with my Wars of the Roses when I did sort of the hobby and history things. I did the history of this bloke, and then let's see how he's going to perform, and he gets absolutely battered in the game. That's the way. No, the drive has always been I'll do what I want. I haven't really ever done anything that I didn't want to do. I've given things a go. Like I wanted to try a certain teeny tiny scale, and I will not be doing it again for a very long time. But again, I didn't bother doing a painting video on that because, or any videos around it, because I hated every second of it. And the video would have just been me smashing them into the desk, melting them down, and I don't know, just hurling them out the door. So I think the way that I approach everything is very much, I want to do things my way. I do things on basis the way I want to do. I'll make units work the way I want them to. I'm not going to be constricted by I have to have 16 figures in a unit. Well, no, 14 figures looks cool because this guy's getting knocked off his feet going backwards. It's especially in games where there's it's only based on frontage rather than the number of men in the unit. So this kind of rigid uniform, some people really enjoy it, where you've got, for example, 24, 36 men battalions and you've got them all in lines. If I could go back now and change my Napoleonics, I would. I can, but I'm not going to, because that's a lot of Napoleonics to rebase. But I probably would, and I could probably make more battalions, because I eventually, I would have more interesting things like people climbing over fences, or a few casualties on there. And I started to do it as I got near the end. But to me, if people don't want to play me because of that, then well, I don't want to play them either. So, but no, I think. My content is always going to be based around what I want to do, and the battle reports I play are games that I want to play and I want to share with. So most of the stuff I'm working on will be turning up in battle reports. It's never a case of I'm just painting it to have it or to show it off. He says, knowing that he's going to be doing something soon, that he's just painting. So yeah, that's sort of how I approach it anyway.
So Ken, moving on to you and your new revamped channel.
Yes.
What's going to be your approach with that moving forward? How's that? Is what you're doing outside of, or is what you're doing hobby wise? Is that going to all be sort of transferred onto your channel?
Well, it's an interesting subject, because obviously, as everyone knows, where it was an exclusively first thing that I fucked up and told the PCP that my wife's pregnant. I'm not an idiot. I still can't get over that. I don't know what I'm going to do moving forward, to be fair, because obviously having a baby is all new to me. I've not had a child before, so I don't know what's going to happen to the channel per se. I'm only going to have a limited amount of time to do stuff, so I don't know what's going to happen moving forward. So it might just be a case of just playing some games because I've got the figures. If I don't have time to paint, I don't have time to paint. Hopefully, at some point, I will. Look at that smirk on his fucking face.
No. You can always find time. No. Don't worry. There's means and ways.
Yeah, I'll learn. But yeah, as it starts, though, the first, I don't know how long it will be. I won't be doing anything for ages. So. Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest, Steve. Not too sure.
Sure.
Obviously, I revamped the channel before finding out my wife was pregnant, which is really fucking helpful, because we didn't expect it to happen so fast. But
at least you've got the genesis of an idea there, so you can always revisit it.
Martin.
I just wanted to say that's what she said, but I just
she did say that. She did.
But no, okay, at least you've got the sort of the genesis of an idea. You can move that forward. And to be fair, I think with the popularity of 3D printing within the wargaming,
I think it's going to be there, isn't it?
At the moment, I think people are always going to be wanting advice, because it's. I know people said it.
Voice-wise, I'm good with all that. I can help at voice. I've got looking at it now. I've got a shite load of 3D printed stuff, painted as well. Loads of it. I didn't even realise, to be fair.
No, because I honestly think people are going to be looking for those sort of advice videos. Do I need it? Especially from a wargaming perspective. I mean, a lot of it, a lot of 3D print it's just 3D printing. It's not focused towards that the wargaming aspect of it. But it'll be interesting to see what content is put out and how that is reflected in your hobby. Right, yeah, I'm going to move on to. I'm going to move on to something now, and it's nothing to do with YouTube. Now, brace yourself, because I think people in the chat are going to recognise this. What's the best way to put it? Hobby temptation, and your willpower to stop yourself from. I know we joke about it, the plastic crack being the absolute apt phrase that it is. But how much of an impact does it have on your hobby time? I mean, we've only got sort of a finite time to spend hobbying, And if you bought everything that you wanted to work on, I don't think it. Dom, I can't help but look at you, mate. Sorry, Dom, you have to take over. Dom, let's talk about willpower.
What's that, mate? Will what? Is he a superhero? No.
Do you have any? I was going to say, do you have any direction? If that's the right word, or plan? No, that's probably the wrong word. And what I meant to say, do you sit down and say, right, I want to do this, I need this, and I need that, or do you just wait to see what the Perrys release, and then yes,
he just does both. He does both.
I'm with Don, really. Do you know what? I have to say, so being slightly serious for once here on this, I freely admit I have had a very little willpower when it comes to shiny things, and I am a complete magpie when it comes to collecting different periods and different armies and different figures. I genuinely want to play every single one of them. I want to use every single one of them. I want to play, but I have come to the realization that there is just no way that's going to happen. So I have, in the last few months, started to get a little bit more focused, shall we say, on what I'm doing, and not actually buying everything that comes out that's new. God, it's been hard at times, but yeah, I do find it genuinely. We all went on the podcast talking about, or was that chart about whether you're a gamer, collector, painter. And I thought I wasn't as much of a collector as I actually am, and I blooming well am. And I love having the shiny figures. And I think partly that's because for years and years and years, I wanted a massive collection of figures. Didn't have the money, didn't have the time, didn't have the space. And then I could, and so I did. And now I'm starting to think, Jesus, I've got so many. It's just crazy. So now I'm actually starting to slow it down a bit. So I have started. Now, does that mean I'm starting buying stuff? No. Of course it doesn't. There was a big package came from the Perrys just last week, but I'm trying to focus on certain periods and certain army types, or rather than just going, weird that weird Second World War, really quite fun, and I very nearly ordered that and stopped myself because I thought I'm never going to play it. It'll be another Silver Bayonet's job. So yeah, I think. You do have to start thinking a bit more sensibly about it, and I'm trying to be. There's still lots of unpainted stuff in the cabin.
Yeah.
But and there probably always will be, and there'll probably be packages arriving, and my wife will probably still be on very first name terms with the postman and the courier because they bring so many packages to our house. She knows about their family. She knows that.
But I mean, how difficult is it? I mean, I know with me, sometimes I just buy sometimes the most random things. I mean, one of the most random things I've ever bought, and I tried to paint 3 of them. And last year, I bought some 172 scale British Napoleonic infantry because I don't know what I to this day I cannot explain what I was doing. I had this. No,
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, and they arrived. And I just thought, what the bloody hell am I doing here? So I put them away, and I've never looked at them again. But I think with that, sometimes you just, especially if you watch a film or read a book, and the spark just goes off in your head, and you just think, I want to do that, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The films and books are fantastic.
They're just
unbelievable.
We've definitely got an anomaly here in the chat. Alex, 3 periods, 1 scale. I have the willpower of steel.
Really.
No, Alex does have. I mean, he sticks to his guns, his 3 period guns.
What are those periods? World War II, World War I, and Napoleonic.
Yeah.
So where does Star Wars fit into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to turn around and say it's fictional.
Okay, Martin, let's talk about your willpower then. On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
10 being Alex with his will of steel,
will of iron,
will of iron. What's your level of sort of hobby temptation, or if you were to randomly, you read the history book and you see something, you think, oh, I'm going to dig deeper. What are the chances of you going, right, I need to hide the debit card?
I think I've gotten better after the Carthaginian incident of 2021. I think I learned my error of my ways. I think I'm actually quite good. The main thing that made me crack recently was a certain venerable member of the team who decided to do a whole show on failed projects, and so we sat here talking about it for 2 hours. That made me order stuff. But generally I don't get it. I tend to not buy things as soon as I see them anymore, and I just kind of sit there, and if the interest is still there after a couple of weeks, then I'll do it. Or I just what I do is I have like pages and pages of like notes and things that I make for my projects and things anyway, and I just kind of scribble something in there going, Mexican-American war looks interesting, or something like that. So I think I think I've got a lot better. I don't tend to rush out and buy new miniatures very often. I it's more projects to me, and I prefer starting projects where ranges are already fairly well. I want to say service, but that sounds weird. Well stocked.
Accommodated.
I don't. If you have, for example, like an army for say 40k, and it's a new army and it's released, then half the time they've only got about six units for it, and you're sitting there waiting for the next release. I don't like that. I like having a menu of stuff that I can pick from, which is, I can't. I'm thinking the only thing I think I really did that was brand new, which is recently, has been the 0200 hours, which I was going to buy anyway, even if Graham hadn't been kind enough to send me a copy to review. I would have bought that game. But I don't really get FOMO. It's something me and Ken have talked about a fair bit. I don't really get this fear of missing out thing, which is why ultimately I didn't order Push of Pike. It's there if I want it, but I knew at that time I wouldn't be able to dedicate the time that I wanted to doing it. So I finished my Napoleonics. I kind of finished the Wars of the Roses for what I was working on, and then I took on another big project. And then once that I got a certain way through it, I took on another big project. I've got another one that'll be starting because I've got the First Crusade is kind of getting to the point where I've got two quite large armies now, and anything that I add to them will be sort of by choice rather than necessity for gaming. So yeah, I don't get it. That being said, I do regularly have to look at Necromunda releases because I think they look really cool. So I just I get rid of. I don't look at those because I do think they look awesome. I'm not going to look at ABC Warriors because I will buy that. It was really hard not to buy into Judge Dredd. Slain, I nearly got, and I had to just stop looking. But I've gotten quite good at doing that. Books are a big problem for me. I like reading biographies of various medieval, horrible, historical people. That reminds me, just a completely tangent. Has anyone listened to any of that book by David Mitchell called Unruly? No. He's done a history of the kings and queens of up to 1603, and I listened to a bit of it. It's very good. It's very witty, and he very much approaches it from they're all horrible. They are all horrible bastards. And he was on that history hit with Dan Snow, and bloody hell. Oh, there's more to that. My wife hates Martin. I was talking about Shatterpoint with someone who doesn't even wargame a week ago at my daughter's birthday, and he's gone and bought it now. And he's gone and bought it. My plan worked. What I was saying, yeah, go and check it out on History Hit. Dan Snow chatting to David Mitchell about who their worst kings and queens are, who are the most overrated ones. It's very, very funny.
That's that when I've watched any documentary about the Plantagenets, they're all awful people. Awful.
That's what
terrible.
He says you're great. He says the bar is really low.
they're all irredeemably just nasty folk. The best line in that documentary was the angriest family in history. I just thought that just summed them up perfectly.
I know they are. No, yeah. So I just think if I'm at a thing at the minute where I see games that I want to play and I try to convince other people to buy them so I can play them but not have to paint them or have them around my house.
I mean, how much are you driven by? How are you guys driven by that shiny effect? I mean, would you go and buy something completely out of your comfort zone just because it looked pretty? You know, something that was something you would never think about gaming at all, just because you like the figures.
From a painting perspective, do you mean, or just?
Well, I don't know. It could be that just because you like the look of the models and you think, you know, well, you did it, didn't you? You bought those Tyrannosaurus Rex thingies, whatever they were.
Yeah, and I painted one. And then behind me, so I got yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's a really I was like, oh, a dinosaur, and I painted up one, and I was like, yeah, okay, there we go. There's the fix. Like shit, there's 9 more. They're all there. They're all sitting there. No. Oh, they're somewhere on the floor.
So what's really weird for me is that do you know when Warlord released like a new plastic box? I've never, I can't remember if I've ever sort of pre-ordered or got it as soon as it came out. I've never done that, and I thought I'd be like that. No, as soon as I release, new plastic box, I'm gonna buy it. But I always tend to get it a few months later. I mean, it might be different with these early war French.
Yeah. But I'm more like that with books. I'm more like that with books and rule books. I'd rather I'm pre-order rule books quite a lot, but not figures.
On the subject of rule books, there's been in the Facebook group recently. There's been quite a lot of chat about Battle Group, and I have a Battle Group rule book that I won at CrackCon 1, and I don't want to. It sounds bad. I don't want to start reading it because I think I'll start playing it, but at 20 mil because everyone's saying how great it is at 20 mil. And I know I'll go out and splurge a lot of money on 20 mil, and then I'd have to try and convince my mate to move to 20 mil to play Battle Group, and I don't think he'd appreciate that. Given we've spent years painting 28 mil bolt action stuff, I don't think he'd.
And then you end up painting both sides. I did see a comment a little while ago saying that someone needed to convince me to do 20 mil World War II. I very nearly did when I was working at doing a job at the Duxford Imperial War Museum. I was and Robin was sending me pictures of all these nice bases he was making for his artillery. I did go and peruse the Plastic Soldier Company and AB sites quite a lot, but then, like I said, I knew it. Once we left that job, I gave it 2 weeks, and it kind of got out my system a little bit.
No, it's for me. It's something I've been looking at for a while because I know I've got the I think I've got the Kursk book. And people have been I know Robin's been posting a lot of his 20 mil stuff over the past sort of year or so. There's the games that he's ran at CrackCon, or the James the two James that are both getting it back into Battle Group. It's just that's something I've got to be careful with because I could quite easily and I definitely wasn't looking at 20 mil figures. I really wasn't on my lunch break looking at 20 millimeter figures. It didn't happen, but I was, and I may have made I may have made a list of things that I want to buy. But it's something like that where I mean I've had that rule book now. It'll be 2 years since CrackCon 1, so it's been 2 years, and I've never read it. I've barely opened it. But then people are posting these awesome looking games of it, and I think, so I don't know. But I've never had I can't remember the last time something new came out that I desperately. It was probably that Huey.
Oh yeah, that went well.
This is on hiatus. Oh, and those the plastic US Marines as well. I got them not long after they came out.
The Vietnam ones, didn't you?
Yeah, because I really wanted to work on them. But
what about this new the new Epic stuff for 40k, the 30k?
Yeah, see that's danger. I know it's been put off, hasn't it? For I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But again, that's something because I love Epic and I love the Horus Heresy. I could see myself really getting into that. I can see myself getting into loads of different projects. It's keeping a rein on things. I mean, my sort of kryptonite type thing is still Crisis Protocol. Every time I look at that, my hand is hovering over the checkout button. But I know that it's bloody expensive. it's a really, really expensive, and all the expansions and the scenery. I mean, you could easily get into £200, £300, £400 very, very quickly just by buying some of the expansions. Yeah, easily swayed. Yeah, this is why the Facebook group is dangerous, because people post stuff in there.
Haven't they released a slightly smaller, more affordable? I say affordable, a slightly cheap, just a slightly less expensive starter set now.
Oh, I know it was mentioned. Yeah, I think you read it on the news a couple of weeks back. I don't know. I just don't think I'd play it. I mean, I bought the Judge Dredd box and I've painted a few of the figures. I wasn't impressed with the figures. The game I like, and I actually love the Strontium Dog game. I painted all the figures up for that, and I absolutely love that game. But I see things that I just want to keep getting into. Space Widows, Doomed, A War Transformed. Just these games constantly go on tempting me. It's terrible.
So you're more likely to push the button on something because it's a small scale game, like a skirmish game.
These days, yes, absolutely. The other week we were talking about rules light versus rules heavy. As I said, I've moved towards the smaller scale ones now, just for space, time.
Because it's definitely an off-putting thing, isn't it? I mean, if you look at something, you think, "Oh, that's fantastic," but then you think, "Oh, geez, I'm going to paint up 5,000 figures for that. Plus, nobody else is going to do it for a while.
Exactly.
So if I want a game, I need to do 10,000 because I've got to do the other side, and I'm busy until Christmas." That kind of thing. It just gets right.
It does. It's definitely a factor. As far as miniatures go, Ken, imagine if 3D printing had never been invented ever. I know. What would your approach be? Would you be buying things as soon as it came out?
Yeah, I'd end up. Yeah, look what I used to have. I used to have a massive pile of shame.
The infamous envelopes.
Yeah, the envelopes. Yeah, exactly.
What happened to the envelopes?
I can't remember what I did with all them now. I think I sold it all. Oh, I've got a Push and Pike set for sale if anyone wants it. Good price. 60 quid to anyone on the PCP. There you go.
Oh, my word.
Bargain.
So if there's no 3D printing, and what would you? I can't remember your buying habits. You've been printing 3D stuff.
Just buy shit. I just used to buy stuff all the time.
What?
Yeah, all the time, constantly. It would just be one thing, a bit like Dom, like whatever takes my fancy at that moment in time. Buy that, and buy that.
You used to buy it all, and then you just sort of then pass it on or swap it for something else, wouldn't you? You were
yeah.
Like that.
Is that a syndrome of like shiny stuff, shiny new stuff that you want to have?
Yeah, I've got quite an addictive personality, so I'm quite all or nothing. Which again, Laura doesn't really like about me.
I mean, I suppose that's probably. I reckon that is a big, not problem, but loads of people in the sort of the wargaming community. It's definitely a shiny new thing syndrome. Isn't it? As soon as something new comes out, you want to, you want to buy it. I mean, look at Dom and the Perrys.
Well, I think again, I'd say that for me anyway, I'm not necessarily driven by sort of envy of everybody else. I don't have a fear of missing out kind of thing. But if I'm collecting, or planning to do an Ottoman army, classic case in point, and the Perrys bring out new bunch of those figures, I have a temptation of buying them, even though I haven't even started painting the first ones yet. But I know that I will get round to doing it at some point. But there's actually no logic, because they're not cheaper now than they will. Well, they might go up in price. Who knows with the metal prices and everything else? But it's not like I'm getting a discount, and that's why generally I don't pre-order anything, because unless they're doing it as some kind of I don't know, you get 10% off if you order it, or you get some freebie when you order it. I generally won't bother, because I think, well, what's the point? I'll pick it up when I'm ready for it. But then if it is something that I know I'm doing, a period, a project, or I really definitely am going to do, I will pile them up in the cabin unashamedly, and that's what I do. It's just the way it is. It just can't help it. But I do like to have everything in one, and I do like to have them all ready to go. So I know when I start it, I can just go boom. I'm just going to work my way through them all. Have it all set.
If a good thing for me would be bloody miniatures. Like that was just I got the first ones on a little bit of a whim when they came out, and they were such good quality that that was it. So his stuff I will buy, because they're small releases each time. If is one way, even you're supporting a small time guy, but they're amazing. The quality is there. It's brilliant. It's really quality stuff. Sorry, I'm peppering this thing with weathering pigments, and I'm starting to.
I will end up buying some bloody miniatures one day, because every time Richard posts an update, or people post photographs of them painted, I just think, I'm not a fan of metal miniatures, obviously. People know this, it's not a secret. Apart from Burrows and Badgers, they are the exception. But they again, it's not a period I've really painted much of, and I see them painted up, and every single miniature is just a character. It just that for me, that's what appeals to me. It's just, they're not just generic figures. Each figure's got a character. It's got a personality, and a tale behind it. And I think that's a really great way of sculpting. But again, I can see if I was to buy sort of some, I might buy a lot. It's like, I know it was posted before about the War of the Triple Alliance. That's another one. I need to step. I wish I could have like some kind of brain thing where they remove that from my head, so I don't know about it anymore, because I've been tempted to buy that so many times. The pig that
is going to happen, Steve.
It will happen one day. But then I think I imagine the conversation, mate. New system. What we doing? War of the Triple Alliance. He's going to put the phone down. Because there's no way. There's no bloody way he's getting interested in anything like that. But again, so I know people approach the hobby in different ways. I think that's what we've been discussing for the past 40 minutes. But do you think there's sort of one trait that we all share, or is everybody in the community completely different to the next person?
No, I'd say everybody's passionate. I think everybody's enthusiastic generally. Everyone knows that one moaning git. But I'd say that no, we're all everyone's passionate, and you can be passionate about multiple periods and multiple projects at the same time. And just because you're not gaming something, we joke about a lack of willpower, but it's not. It's just really just having a broad palette, and not having to stick to one thing. Like if you rigidly stick to one thing, then you risk, I think, becoming quite disillusioned with that. So I think everyone, I say enthusiasm.
Yeah,
it's something that we all share.
Do you watch people who have? There are people. I don't know what they're like, really, but when you see their channels, they only ever do Second World War. That's all they ever seem to do, and it'll only be like only Flames of War or whatever it may be, whatever their poison of choice is. Do you ever think, crikey, that must be really boring? Or do you think, good on them?
They must really fucking like
I'm
it.
just saying, not
from my head.
Sorry, say again.
They must really fucking like it. That's what goes through my head. Really like it. I couldn't do the same thing all the time. I need to change up a little bit.
That was the danger. I mean, when I first started the channel, you find your feet, and I did a bit of Warfare 1. But when I just started making bolt action videos and bolt action and a bit more bolt action videos, and the occasional bolt action video, that was when I thought, is this channel is just going to be solely a bolt action channel? Is this where I'm going? Because I didn't want it to be like that. Because back then I did I did paint a lot of bolt action, but I also wanted to try different things. And I didn't want to be just known as that weird guy that just makes videos about bolt action painting all the time. And I mean, I know people they foster a community around a certain game, don't they? So if you're known for producing battle reports about Flames of War and they're engaging and they're good and you've got community, I think you're gonna stick with the same thing, aren't you? I mean, I couldn't do that these days. I mean, I make videos about all kinds of oddness these days.
We used to see it a lot. Well, you still do see it a lot in the video game environment, don't you? People who just they'll live stream, they'll do videos about the latest updates on a particular game, and that's all they ever seem to play. And I just think, oh my god. I mean, I admire their dedication, but I just think, how do you do that? I just could not do that. It just, yeah.
I think it's variety is what I need. And it's why what I've been doing, I say over the past sort of 12, 18 months, is I've been doing things. I mean, getting back into 40K. I mean, obviously not modern 40K, but second edition, and painting up, modern Games Workshop. I mean, 2 years ago, someone said to me, "Oh, by the way, Steve, in 2 years' time, you're going to be painting up some 40K Eldar." I'd have been like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't do that anymore." But here I am.
Well, I'm going to not paint it up on purpose now, you bastard.
Yes. It's a matter of principle now.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think it does to me as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, by the way. I mean, if people love focusing on one thing, and good on them. To me, I don't think I could. I think it's very. A lot of 40K channels are like that. They will only play 40K battle reports. They'll only do 40K. I mean, there's quite a few channels that I know are just purely 40K or Games Workshop products. But it's probably the most popular part of wargaming. Though. It's just going to pull in the punters. It's going to get the views. It's going to get that. Yeah, well, that's why I wonder whether it's as much
whether or
as
not
anything else, because then they'll get the numbers of views. So, whether that's part of that different, or whether they genuinely. Because I don't know.
The only thing I'd say sort of about that is that we've talked about 40K and is the big draw, but Games Workshop, and we said before about Games Workshop being its own. It's its own right, but there are for every sort of 100 good 40K channels that are big, there are thousands and thousands of 40K channels which that aren't, and they're just putting out battle reports, and they're great. I actually quite enjoy watching battle reports pretty much at any game. I just like watching them. But there is just saying, if we went and did a 40K video now, you just wouldn't get the view. That's not because you haven't got a for example, say a loyal sort of fan base in the people that follow us. It's just that it's so oversaturated, and and the biggest channels in, if we call it, the wargaming, if you in general, are big 40K only painting channels, and sometimes stray out into other things, and very, very swiftly go back. I think when their viewership was whoop like that, and it's like,
oh yeah,
yes. But for me, it's variety, and I think that adds certainly something over the past sort of 18 months that I've sort of embraced. I mean, I've done some. I mean, BattleTech 40K, O Group, Turnip 28. There's just an endless list of stuff that I never thought I'd ever sort of get back in. That BattleTech thing was just something I needed to get out of my system. I bought a box, I painted them, and that was it. I just needed to scratch that particular itch when it came to painting. I mean, you think sometimes that's it. You'll see. I know Dom, you mentioned it before, but something will come out, or you'll see a box, or you see a figure, and you just think, I want to paint that, and I don't know why. I've just got an urge to do it.
Yeah,
for me, very rarely, but yeah, I know a lot of people do.
But again, that moves on to another facet of it. I mean, there's people who are primarily gamers. They want to roll those dice. They want to get the figures on the tabletop. Whereas myself, I like to game when I can, But for me, a good 90% of the hobby for me is the painting, the creative side. That's one of my big motivations, is the painting. I mean, I wish I could. That's why I always look forward to CrackCon. Gaming with some fellow nerds, so it was a good time. But I mean, I don't roll dice as often as I like to. But for me, again, I mentioned it in the description. It's that breakdown, but like a Venn diagram of modeler, gamer. Are you a gamer, modeler, painter? There's going to be a whole number of combinations about what you are.
I think we should do that.
I'd like, if we're going to ever do that, I want Ken. I want Yorkshire Ken to be in charge of it. I'd love to see him run something like that.
That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
That'd be.
I know it sounds a little bit silly. I'm going to probably go here. I would really like to play a game of current 40k. I just can't be bothered to buy that rulebook, learn it, and collect an army. If someone had an army, and I would happily play a game of 40k, of current 40k. I'd like to. I'd like to see how it compares to, because all I've got is I've watched battle reports and I have what people have said, but I would like to experience it. I just can't be bothered to go and buy it and paint up current armies. So, but I absolutely would.
I've got
play
2
it
armies.
I would absolutely play it if someone other than Ken ran it.
I've got orcs and tau.
I love the speed of that caveat there, Martin. That was light speed. That was brilliant.
Orcs and fish people.
But again, I think it is. It's just about experiencing new things. I mean, I've said it before. I mentioned it. There's things that I will never be interested in. Will never game certain periods, certain rule sets. But I'd like to think that I'd give most things a try. Most
it's that old CrackCon convention kind of scenario, isn't it? If you walk into a convention or even a club and somebody's playing something you haven't got a game on, even if it's something completely weird and wacky, you give it a go and you'd have a laugh and probably do it. But would you'd actually collect that army? Probably not.
But every now and then it does result in someone going for it, doesn't it? I mean, look at Luke putting on those demos of Burrows and Badgers in CrackCon last year. And that converted quite a few people who, up until that point, had just seen I painted a couple of them, but mainly Dom and Steve. You guys painted them. Had just seen us doing them, but so it's always worth going and giving something a go. Especially that's why I like going to shows. That's why if you've got like a little game and you're trying to, if you've got a little demo table, like your Dead Man's Hand table, they've always got like a little table. Bushido has always got little tables going, and it's just it's worth it just giving it a go, because everybody wants to sometimes just have a bit of a break from the norm.
So that's why I'm hoping with Space Weirdos at CrackCon. It's a small game, it's fast paced, lasts about half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm hoping people give it a go, because it really is a fun, fast game. I think it's just this is it. Where's Ken?
Ken's imploded.
Do you think Laura's just had enough of him and just disconnected everything?
I think it was all this chat about.
If she was gonna do that, I really hope she wouldn't cut the feed.
Oh, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't you, see it live?
Yes, that's why this CrackCon. There's such a broad array of different games being played this year. I'm looking forward to a wander around. I really am.
That's very much the same. I think next CrackCon, I'm going to go back to running I'll do a big game. It'll probably be medieval or maybe something else. There's something that's potentially going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, which could send things in a bit of a different direction. But I don't want to jinx it, so we'll see if that happens. But if it does, then he said after saying all this stuff earlier on that it's a project that I've wanted to do, and I hadn't, because I've been holding out for a few things, but it might happen. So we'll see. But yeah. Yeah, I've completely coated something in pigment in isopropanol, and it's given me a bit of a headache.
John, I'm just going to clarify, John, mate. I did say something that is just shiny and new. I wouldn't necessarily go for, but the Perry's Ottomans I am going to do, and it's because it fits within my any kind of weird Napoleonic army kind of scenario, which I love. So yeah, it's happening. So, very rarely but not in that case.
With bananas. That's a great way of summing it up. No, like I say, this was brought. The reason for tonight's study was brought on. I was having a look back at just what I've been working on, and just what other people have been working on the Facebook group, and you just see there's like a myriad of approaches that people take. Some people are jumping, from one thing to another, but it's just. I just like the way people do it. I just like the way that people seeing the different ways people approach the hobby. I mean, there's people out there with massive amounts of willpower, Alex, who don't bounce around jumping between things. I mean, I would say I've got worse recently. I think sometimes it's because rules are being released really quick and fast these days, and I'm just picking up rule book after rule book and thinking
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Do you know the thing I found a bit frustrating with the whole kind of magpie effect? Apart from kind of clear space and letting things fall on you when you go into cupboards and that sort of thing, is the whole kind of I buy things and I think, wow, that'd be great. I know I'll get around to it at some point because they're really nice figures and blah blah blah. And then some bugger brings out another range in exactly the same period and exactly the army that are 5 times better. And I'm like, shoot, what am I going to do now? Do I use the old ones? Do I not? So I just end up buying them as well. And then they sit in the pile. And then somebody else then 5 weeks later or 5 months later does it again. It's like, oh, fuck.
Fuck. Shit.
I think these days, though, I mean, there's so many more companies, but so many more products, and so many more rule systems. That they just seem to be out and with Kickstarters thrown in as well. There's always going to be something out there for you. Sometimes it's easy to be tempted into a system or a scale or a game that 6 months previous you'd be like, nah, and then something will come out that will. And again, I think it's the war gamers lot. I just think it's the way we're programmed.
Yeah.
Is that I think I know for me, I've always got more things on the go than I can reasonably expect to ever game with. If that makes sense. I mean, like with those,
without being morbid, that whole thing that there was a whole debate of videos people were putting up around, what do you do when you die, and what are you going to do with your collection, and all this kind of malarkey. You do start thinking, cracky, I have so many figures. Even if I painted all of them, or worked on 20 every day for the next how many years, I'm never going to get through them again before I'm finished. Let alone play with them.
See, if I wanted all my figures to be safe, I'd send them to Steve because I know he'd never get rid of them. Because he just, but one, he doesn't do that anyway. 2, he'd feel bad. Whereas if I sent them to Ken, they would be straight on eBay or sold
them before they even arrived. I think probably.
Yeah, I've genuinely had a word with Haley about what's happening with my stuff. I haven't talked about provision for my kids or anything, but it's
I want my stuff to be on a Viking funeral ship just around me.
That's what I thought.
People.
If I lay on my 6 foot by whatever table, and they pile all the figures high around me and just torch to the whole lot, that'd be brilliant. No way.
Yeah, I might speak to the council about that, Dom. They could just play some regulations.
People complain around our way for the amount of bonfires. Can you imagine my shed going up with half a ton of plastic and resin? Jeez.
Here's an interesting question from Matt. How long do you sit on a project? He's been planning the Franco-Prussian War since the first PCP with the Perrys, but not found a rule set yet. He still intends on doing it, though. I've been reading around it. I mean, that's an interesting question because sometimes, again, you figures will come out and you're like, I've just not found the rules that really want to inspire me. I want to paint the figures, but I've not found a rule set that I really want to, would do them justice.
Make your rules. Just
yes.
adapt something. Don't let that stop you. If you really, really want to do it, just do it. Otherwise, otherwise, if it's holding you back that much, then maybe I don't know. Or the other thing, I don't know. I don't tend to do. Oh, he's back.
Back.
What happened?
I don't know. My PC went all funny. Like everything. Have you ever had it where it goes like? I think the CPU is overwhelmed.
All right. Dom, on that point, you know when you threw yourself vigorously into your Boxer Rebellion project, did you have I know you've used the Many Would Be King. Did you have a rule set in mind before you started that, or did you just want to paint the figures first?
So here's the thing. Yes, so I kind of hear what Matt's saying because I've done the same thing, and Boxers was definitely one of those periods, as was Franco-Prussian actually, where I thought I really am interested in the period. But the Boxers, I just remembered that 55 Days in Peking film, and that was what got me to that. And then I saw some lovely figures out, and I thought, I'm going to game that. And it has been really hard to find them. Now, the difference is with that one over the Franco-Prussian is I have found some rules that are half decent to play. They're still not quite right. And to Martin's point, yeah, I can muck around with them and make my own rule sets. But I'm frankly, I'm a bit lazy and I can't be bothered. I kind of, that was driven by the film. Boxers driven by the film entirely, and my sort of memories of it, seeing some lovely figures and thinking, that'd be a laugh to do. And also thinking I could do it at a fairly small scale in terms of numbers, not as actual scale, this is 28 mil. And could do both forces, and nobody, wouldn't have to worry on somebody else collecting another army to fight against. And so that's why I did it. But yeah, I've struggled with the rules. They haven't been quite right. As a Franco-Prussian, I've completely failed. I'm the same as Matt. I love it. I think it's a really interesting period. I'm reading books about it. I've got both forces to some degree, but I just don't find anything that's particularly appealing rule-wise.
So there we go. I think the Perry's work was showcasing. I think is it Valor and Fortitude. I think they're doing a Franco-Prussian sort of version.
All hail the Perrys.
Crikey, oh blimey! It's almost 9:30. News time. I'm not gonna click on the video because it's
yeah, it's fine. I managed to sell that pusher pipe box, just so you know.
What, in that time you were away, you sold something?
No. Well, not while I was away. From the start of the stream when I announced it. I've had messages. People shall not be named, but they'll be going to CrackCon. So,
dear
me. What a case.
Right. Has anyone got any news? Because I haven't.
Yeah. There's news. Hang on. I've got to a sensible-ish point. Hang on. Right. So. I saw a couple of things, but not as many as Dom. This book, which Ken bought in Warhammer World, the old Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, for those of you who remember the glory days, that used to be only available at Warhammer World. However, to celebrate a certain number of years, it's now going on. You can mail order it. Essentially, it's pretty much
wicked.
For I think it's up for a month or so. So if you want that, it is a really, really nice book. We kept on threatening to do stuff to it while Ken was passed out drunk. I love looking for it. It was so nice that we couldn't bring ourselves to hurt the book. We still hurt Ken, but we didn't hurt the book.
Yeah. I would say with that as well. If you want to pick up one of the weirdest rule sets that's ever been made, there's your set, because the artwork enough is just enough to set you off. It's beautiful, and there's some classic 40k in there.
The lore in it's amazing as well. I really, really like that. It goes a lot more in depth, doesn't it? I like how
it does.
I like the squats on hover skateboards. It's just
D100 to make a monster chart, which is the best. Mutant.
We talked about Kings of War last week and the Clash of Kings 2024. So they update it, scenarios and changes. That's out along with a new starter set, and we talked about the Twilight Kin we were chatting about last week. So this is new Kings of War starter set. So this is the Twilight King, so not Dark Elves against not Chaos Dwarves, essentially. That's my review, but it's just going down. But no, I like their start set. So you know, again, I like
Value
Kings
for
of
money,
War.
innit?
I really like Kings of War. It's very fast and very, very brutal. So that's a good game. Next up, on the RPG front, I saw this, and I know we occasionally put it up. So the Cohors Cthulhu from Modiphius has gone live. So if you want some Cthulhu in your Roman Empire,
Oh, nice.
then that Kickstarter is live now over on. If you go to Modiphius's Facebook page, or just go on Kickstarter and type in Cohors Cthulhu, you'll find it. And there's all sorts of different levels where you can get everything in PDF. There's a complete quick start version for free. So if you want some historical gaming with, you know, weird tentacles and cultists, and you want to get like, you know, a Roman soldier, a Germanic tribesman, and like a Numidian horseman together, and they're going to go and fight Cthulhu with a gladius, then go for it. I'm a sucker for RPG books. I really am. I would just buy these. See, these would just sit on the shelf for ages because I just like looking at them. But that's over there. But I like posting things up occasionally about it. But Dom, I had a look and I checked, and Dom has everything else that I was going to talk about. So I'll let
You
Dom
can take some of them, mate.
No, go for it.
Best page in that Rogue Trader rulebook.
Oh yeah.
The Rogues Gallery.
Spot the buried twins. There you go. That's actually made me really want to start looking at that again. Not good.
So late Roman unarmored cavalry. They
Very
are.
nice.
Did they go? I think pre-order on Friday. I think it was. So if you're interested in them, they're available. They do look very good. We've said this before. Victrix have upped their game again, I think, in terms of sculpts and figures. They are very, very impressive indeed. So, they're available at the moment if you're interested in such a period. Also, Kickstarter that people might be interested in is this one, Tombstone Town.
Oh, it's
Nice,
Black Scorpion, isn't it?
Black Scorpion, yes, indeed.
Old Dead Man's Hand, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and How the West Was Won, and God knows what else, all sorts of others.
How convenient that that's on Kickstarter at the same time that the other ones.
Funny that.
Kickstarter.
Funny that. As usual, a mass of Western games out and about, but they do look good, I have to say.
I like the signs out. They're not just flat; they actually pop, don't they? Which is really nice. They've got some definition.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, they'll be easy to paint up as well, probably. Also, for those who like the 15 mils, these new what are they? Chromaty Forge Goths.
Oh yes,
15 mil resin, and they're actually really cheap.
So they've made a deal. They're being distributed by Plastic Soldier Company, aren't they? They're designed by Chromaty Forge, but Plastic Soldier Company are doing these, and I assume it's one of the Meg starter boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were going to be for, to be fair. Yeah.
They do look good, I have to say. They're really good. We were talking about 15 mil down the club the other day, 15 mil Ancients. It might be happening again at some point. I don't need to buy any more figures, but tons of them. So. Of course, it doesn't mean I won't. But, anyway. Also, for those into the earlier period of Second World War, new Kickstarter out from May 40 figures. So this is the Royal Netherland East Indies Army, 1936 to 42, which is fairly niche.
Yes, it's
very niche indeed. But I think the May 40 does it. They're pretty good at just sort of fitting in slightly unusual armies out there, which is kind of.
I didn't even know about these. Genuinely didn't even know about them. No, and I thought I knew a lot about World War II. I didn't even know about that.
So there's some of the infantry and
cool.
medium machine gun crew.
Oh, that's a nice machine gun, that.
Yeah, lovely machine gun. So they're up for a Kickstarter. I think it's just a week in. So for that one. So if you're interested, check that one out as well.
Oh, Kickstarters this week, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
still got that Napoleonic one for the Prussians. Has still got to start, hasn't it? Hasn't started yet. So Piano Miniatures is just finished, I think, or just finishing.
Piano, I think it's got a couple of hours left or something. I think, pretty much done. But that's
smashed it. That has.
As we knew it would. And I have resisted that one. See?
I was going to say, talk about willpower. Dom has willpowered his way through.
I was trying to justify getting some French figures, and I thought, why do you need French figures?
Colour me very surprised.
Yes.
Colour me very surprised.
Is that all the news?
Have
we all done?
I was going to say, we got any more CrackCon stuff we need to talk about?
No, we talk about that when you're not around.
Okay.
Because we do stuff. No, there's nothing to discuss really.
It's all
Thank you to everyone who's been sending in donations and contacting us for donations. We really, really appreciate it. They'll all be going to raffle. The raffle is going to be looking particularly awesome this year.
Be one of the best raffles we've had. Actually,
I think it might be good, like knowing what we've already got for it, and then there's still stuff to come. There, we've received a lot of support from some really awesome people. Lots of people have been on the stream as guests, and obviously you guys who are watching. So yeah, they're all on there. I think we're out of dice now, aren't we, Dom? I think we're sold out on the pre-orders.
One set left, I think, maybe of the pre-orders. And
so
one mug left, I think, of the pre-orders.
Yeah,
but apart
so
from that,
there you go. They're all done.
I've got a few bits and bobs for the raffle as well.
Oh gosh.
Not models, not miniatures, other stuff.
What?
Martin, the look on your face there.
Oh, it's just going to be like
rule books. I've got rule books.
You're not putting in your dog-eared rule books.
No, they're new ones. Brand new.
It was a mixture. That was a mixture of that look was a mixture of horror and disappointment.
It's just
don't worry, folks.
Yeah, we'll make sure. It's gonna be like a Snakes and Ladders rule book from it's about 20. I'm sorry, I do like it. I promise.
No, some good news. Tell you what, those I know that Mortium at Glorium. That's another one. It always looks really nice on the tabletop. Always looks really nice. But again, something I don't think I'd ever get any of my wargaming comrades to get into.
I've looked at it so many times, and I've looked at that starter box that you can get, which has all the rules and you need everything in there. And then I watched it being, was it Warfare we saw it at last year? And I watched it being played, and I nearly had an aneurysm, like trying to keep up with it. And I felt like to be when they're activated, it looks like I'm sure it's brilliant fun to play, and they're having a great time. But I don't know what it was like. They're essentially to me, it looked like they were playing Uno to activate their units because you're trying to match like it looks great. I've got again, it's a system I'd really like someone else who's got it to. I'd love to play a game, and then, but it's not what I want to go and buy. I want someone else to basically play it and make me buy it.
See, that's another thing, is that the danger of you see a really nice game, you get the rules and you read the rules, and then that they don't match your expectations.
It's horrible.
It's a bit like Fury. When you break it down into a trailer, it looks okay, and then you have the misfortune to sit down and watch the entire rancid turd that it is. And it's just disappointing. Just disappointing. Sorry, I went on a Fury.
Just off on it.
Dom, the mug has been claimed.
All right, I'll put you down. Yeah, thanks, Alan. If you can bung us the money, that'd be great. We can keep it up to date. Super.
So Ken says that Meg is a really great, effectively two separate games. Competitive play is very different to Yorkshire gamer play.
Now that phrase is copyrighted, isn't it? Yorkshire gamer play.
I thought you tried to copyright Venn diagram as well.
It is. I didn't say that earlier.
We should do our
I
own.
don't know,
our own
that's
Venn
intriguing. A
I mean,
game that you
sometimes
can play in two directions is always interesting. And I
was just
me,
going to
it's
say.
not the game. Surely it's the players, isn't it?
I was going to say asymmetrical games like that. The one that always springs to mind for me, and it's a card game. It's Android Netrunner.
Oh, I see. God, that's a blast from the past.
It is, and so what one person plays as a hacker, and the other person plays as a corporation trying to stop their assets from being hacked by the hacker. And it's two completely separate games. You have different cards, you have different tokens. It's the first couple of times I played it, it took a while to get my head around it. But it's a game that I've not played in absolute years. But yeah, it's a good game.
Cool,
but again, it's completely asymmetrical, really asymmetrical game. But yeah, it's good.
So Simon says he's played Meg a couple of times, but Uno to activate units is.
Yeah, Netrunner was absolutely. I mean, I didn't play as much of it as I wanted to. It was really weird because the way I got into that was I binged. When did I pick up my box? It would have been 10 years ago. I think it would have been 2013, and I spent an entire night just binge watching people playing competitive Netrunner, and just going back, when you see something and I just thought that looks so cool. Just the different dynamics that, one person trying to hack, the other person trying to defend. So me and my mate, I bought mine on the Sunday, he got his on the Monday, and then we read the rules. We had a couple of games over the following weekends, and we both enjoyed it, but we never really went back to playing it. I don't know why. I think it's because we got into X-Wing not long after, which kind of changed everything for us. But yeah, it was a really interesting game. I don't know what the state of the game is at the moment. Whether it's still,
I think it's still out. Don't Fantasy Flight have the license?
Yeah, I think about it for years. But it's a great lore and background. Very cyberpunk-esque. With nice. the different factions of hackers and the different global corps, and they've got different agendas, and you're setting up your defenses for your. I'm going to dig out the rule book later. I'm going to have a read through of that because I've not read it in years.
Oh, there you go. You're falling into the trap. You're going back into like nostalgia.
I know, and that's another thing we should have touched on earlier is the danger of nostalgia in wargaming.
See, I don't.
I know you don't subscribe to it, do you, man?
You're a lucky bastard. That's why.
No, it's because my whole job is based around nostalgia. I don't like. All right, it's our heritage, but what? No, I don't really suffer. I enjoy the past. I think I have fond memories of it, and then every time I've ever ventured into something in the past, be it the series of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or say Nightmare, or some old games, you find out that they're an absolute turd.
Yeah.
And I would just rather have that memory and go, do you know what? It was fun. It had its place, but it's time to move on. It's time to move on, which is which kind of what I'm trying to do with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. What about fucking hell? You still not moved on from that, Jesus. What I was going to say, it's like for me, right? Like you were saying earlier, Steve, about certain game systems or something that you want to play that you just. It's like I would never get time to do it and stuff like that. I'd love to just be able to buy somebody's painted Necromunda table 3x3.
Yeah.
Some gangs all painted, all the cards, the rule books, and then just have it and be able to play it.
Yeah.
Instead of having to collect it all and do everything for it. But because I really want to play it, be able to play it when I want, but I can't be asked to do all the stuff that goes with it. And I haven't really got the time either.
No, I think a lot of people prefer that. I mean, that's one of the dangers I had with doing this Eldar or this Eldar second edition project. Is I really want to play second edition again, but I've literally not got. I mean, I've got some Imperial Guard and some Space Marines, but I've not got armies. So this is a project of nostalgic love for me. It's definitely. I mean, I'm using modern figures, but it's all for second edition. 40K. But I know what you mean about where you just like to sit down and just play with nice scenery and nice painted figures.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely. Yeah, and just play the game and just not have to worry about collecting it all.
Yeah.
So Steve, So, Steve, you've always said that you don't play with other people's, don't play with pre-painted or
Yes.
somebody else's painted figures. So, how would that work then in that scenario? Would that be a different, kind of setup?
I personally, I couldn't do it. The thought of playing, I don't mind. It's a bit different, like a participation game to crack on. Don't mind that if using someone else's figures. But if I was to start a war game, I don't know what it is. It's a psychological thing. I wouldn't like the idea of sitting down with someone else's army because it's not mine. I've not invested the time into it. It's not got my
blood, sweat, and tears.
Well,
Exactly.
like Ken, you'd have to go and spend the time, the money to build that horse on that whim. So does that mean you're less likely to jump into a whim purchase because you've got to do all that?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, moving to skirmish games is not so bad now because I know that I'm not going to spend 6 months. I mean, I've worked out this Eldar army. If I'm going on what my current speed, the full 1,000 points should be painted in about 6 to 8 weeks. That's what I'm aiming for because mostly there's not a lot of figures, but then I've got to do a corresponding army, which I'm not looking forward to.
What are you doing?
Probably Space Marines. It's just classic, though, isn't it? It's just you got to do it. I was thinking of
Space Marine.
Everybody's got to paint a Space Marine.
Even you, Dom. You got to paint a Space Marine.
Yeah,
you painted one. Yeah, you have painted one, haven't you?
I have got one somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I have.
There we go. How many times have you been left high and dry by a War Games friend on a joint project, leaving you a fully painted army but no opponent for it?
Ooh, that used to happen, and then I just stopped doing it and just collected. My project would encompass a whole battle.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Just collect both sides. That's what you'd like to do.
Yeah. I thought you said. Yeah. I basically, when I do a project now, if other people are joining in, then fantastic. That's brilliant. If you've got other players who are, Wars of the Roses, there are so many people who've done just little forces for the Wars of the Roses. They're just like painted up, for example, the Earl of Northumberland or Exeter or whatever. That's brilliant. But I would never want to be able to rely on other people having stuff. I don't want to rely on somebody else to be able to play games. I want to have everything available and be able to, get all that stuff out and do it if I want to at mine. So
makes sense.
That's just me personally. That's how I enjoy it.
That's what I said about buying it. That's what I said. I'm not fussed about buying it. If I had to, well, I am now because I can't fucking afford it. But before children,
you don't even have the kids yet.
Haven't even had it yet. Come on, you should be blowing up the
You have no idea. You wait till childcare fees come. You have no idea.
I ain't got childcare fees. 40 hours free, innit?
No, what?
It's 40 hours free now. When my kid's born, I'm qualified for 40 hours.
Not straight away, you won't.
Yes, you do. 0 on the day they're born. It's changed. It changed literally last couple of weeks. I know it really pissed my brother off, because he had a baby last year.
Almost really like there's an election coming.
Yeah. Anyway, moving away from politics.
In answer to that, Simon, I'm just going to say oath mark. That's all.
Oh, fucking hell. I've got a force right there.
Yeah.
Got it. It's painted. It's ready to go.
Right. I'm just, whatever.
And I know with me and Baltax now, I've
10
got
units now.
I've got such a sizable sort of German army, and I've got my smaller allied forces. So I mean, the US Marines and the Australians only fight against Japanese, but we've always got enough to be able to fight an historical game, which I much prefer. I remember thinking about going. I think I've told the story before. I was it must be about 10 years ago. I was in a hotel. My mate sent me a message, and he just said mistakes have been made. And I was like, "Oh, all right, okay." It was back in the day when he was into his Civil War reenactment with the sealed knot, and he sent me a picture of the biggest collection of pike and shot boxes I have ever seen. It was like looking in a shop. There was that many of them, and I was like, "Are you going to paint all those?" "Oh, yes." And I was like, well, you're not. And don't expect me to buy anything even closely resembling those. Anyway, within 12 months, it sold them all to his mate. But again, that was just we always buy more than we can we can actually physically paint at the time, and he definitely demonstrated that. Thankfully, he doesn't do mad stuff like that these days. He's just currently trying to paint an entire U.S. infantry company for World War II. What? Oh, dearie me. Right, it's time to look at some wonderfully painted miniatures by our very kind viewers. Again, if you want to see your pictures on the podcast, we can't show everyone because that would be an entire stream in itself, and there's not enough coffee in the world for me. But again, keep posting your pictures. I absolutely love it. I enjoy the Facebook group so much, and I love seeing what people have been up to. So who have we got? So again, all in alphabetical order because that's how I upload them. So first of all, we got Alad with some cowboys. Yay! Look at those.
Nice.
Plastic gunfighters by Great Escape. Just a lovely, lovely box set. I've run out of superlatives to describe just how good these figures are. But great work on those, Alad. Really, really good. Someone will have to explain to me what these are because I don't have a clue. They're from David. I think they're Lord of the Rings related. But
yeah, they're Rohan. They're Rohirrim.
Yeah, Riders of Rohan.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice stuff. He's doing a Pelennor Fields project, and they are
They
very
still
nice.
hold up their minis, and they're like 20 years old.
They're 20 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, the original ones.
the originals. Yeah, the original.
22 years old because they came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Crikey, oh blimey! What?
I think they're Perry done them.
I was going to say, I remember somebody mentioned that the Perrys did they do the entire range?
They did a lot of it. They did the orcs as well, or some of the orcs, Urukai characters. They did quite a lot.
Oh no, they're lovely. No, I as soon as I saw this next one, I had to post this because this is just look at that.
That is very nice.
Oh, nice. That's some lovely detail, isn't it?
That's some Italian pike. The Italian was by David. That's
awesome.
Everything just works. The palette and the basing and the banners. Everything is just. It's just so cohesive. It just works. And there's some of the best stripy pants I've ever seen.
I love that. That is a really, really cool.
Absolutely fantastic. The next one is Don went over to see Leslie, and while he was over there, they did a massive game of I believe it's Wars of the Roses. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
look at that.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Wow.
Very cool. Very, very nice work.
And that's just one photograph. If you haven't seen the thread, go and check out Don's post on the Facebook group for some absolutely awesome pictures. Very, very inspiring if you're thinking about getting into Wars of the Roses. They are really, very, very good. Up next, a bit of World War II from Jonas and his Crusader AA tat. That's lovely. Cracking weathering on that as well.
Oh, well done.
Very, very nice.
Nice.
Lovely stuff. More bright stuff. Look at them.
Whoa!
That is beautiful.
From Kerry. I mean, the Spanish something. I don't know what they are. At least they are Spanish, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Definitely Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, they are lovely.
They are absolutely
Nice
fantastic.
flags.
I mean, put those alongside the other pipe block, and wow, you've got yourself some serious eye candy. That's brilliant.
I can understand why people like that period because that is just again what I like about that is it's the color scheme ties everything together. It's bright, but it's not Landsconnect bright. It's just brilliant, absolutely again thoroughly inspiring stuff. Onto the weird stuff now for you, Dom. Onto the weird stuff. This is from Krista, and this is a Space Wolves Redemptor Dreadnought, and that is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, look at the gold, just the different shades of gold on it. It's just awesome.
The weapon hue, the belt.
I like the blue. Nice. I like the blue, very nice blue.
It's nice.
Just brilliant. I just absolutely just love that so much. Just everything about it. It's I'm not doing. I'm not doing Space Wolves. Actually, I might do Space Wolves. This is from Martin. Now these, he posted a number of pictures using the Battle Systems cardboard scenery that I've been using. But these are brilliant. Look at them.
Oh, nice.
Hey!
Amazing.
It is. Yeah, nice.
I think he said
brilliant.
they are just so awesome. And again, that
Yeah.
battles that he's got the Ruined Monastery Battle Systems box that I've been using for the Doomed, and it just works really well. It's got some cracking
Nice.
scenery, but those figures are just brilliant,
Oh, I love it.
absolutely
Love it.
brilliant. Just so full of character. More from Paul and his Marlborough project. These are some
Oh.
characters.
Have you seen the names of them?
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat any of the names just in case.
They're brilliant.
But they are just so cool.
Oh, I can't wait to see this game.
I tell you what,
really can't.
I'm looking forward to seeing so many games of crack on, but I think Paul's game is going to be something to behold. It really is. But yeah, cracking work on those, Paul. Up next is a bit more World War II from Neil. He's been working on some Commandos,
Nice.
which are
they're
really
nice.
rather nice.
They're spiffy, aren't they? Wow.
Like,
Spiffy.
spiffy. That uniform colour spot on though. It's got a nice fade to it. Looks really well worn. But yeah, brilliant work on those, Neil. Fantastic. Now Steve's been blaming me for his current interest in second edition 40k, right? But he's demonstrated the spherical fortitude that I haven't. And what he's done is he's painted that. But look at the base. Look at the base.
Oh,
It's
that
goblin
is
green with sawdust.
amazing.
Fuck.
That is so
Second
good.
edition vibes.
I know. I mean, Steve, big respect, man, for being doing your goblin green base, because I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was so tempted, but I couldn't. But yeah, I kind of said second edition vibes going on, just all off that. Brilliant. Okay, I mentioned before about 20 mil battle group, and Robin posting this didn't really help. That is absolutely fantastic.
Good gosh.
He was sending pictures of that to the group that they were in just as it was going, and it just from the point where he just sort of just had the tank on the base and he hadn't done any other stuff. It looked amazing. But yeah, that's just
the
awesome,
weather.
isn't it?
The weathering is just spot
He's a
on.
good painter, isn't he? Gee.
And it's 11th Armored Division as well. Just brilliant.
Very nice.
Fantastic. And it's not doing my willpower any good when it comes to 20 mil. You poking things like that. It's just not on.
He's going to be getting all excited now. He's going to be bouncing up and down in his chair. about 20. I think even Matt said something like that.
It's not fair. People should be banned. No, not banned, but stop from doing it. Stop inspiring me. Actually, if you've got any 20 mil battle group, please post pictures. It might be the shove that I need to get me buying some stuff. Anyway, Tony's been working on some Bretonians. Yay! Look at those.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
Fucking hell.
Lovely stuff.
Classic Bretonians. Again, excellent colour choice on those, Tony. Painting that amount of yellow. Oh, yes.
Brave man. Brave man.
I remember when the time I was playing Warhammer Fantasy Battle, my Empire troops were constantly on the receiving end of Bretonian knights like that in a wedge formation, and they just hurtle down and just destroy everything in their path.
But was that before 8th edition, where it didn't matter if you charged, because if you're in initiative order, you would strike first. So even if you have your wedge formation, some shit is there. They go,
Yeah, I can't get my head around that, bro.
I mean, obviously,
swines. Oh god, this is like a Stephen King film. This.
It's like that episode where we did, and by the end of it, you'd bought loads of Wars of the Roses mercenaries.
Again, complete lack of. They've all been repurposed.
I don't want to know.
Butchered, you mean?
Repurposed, not butchered. They're living better. They're living better lives these days.
No, carry on.
No, go on. No,
I can't say what I was going to say. Carry on. I'll tell you afterwards.
You have to get it
Thomas.
checked with Haley before you say it.
Look at that. That's a Judean cavalryman.
That is awesome.
That is,
Oh wow!
That is just ace.
Very cool.
that is lovely. The tones on that are just
Very nice.
plus Thomas does he does some fantastic Tournament 28 stuff as well. And there we are. That's the end of the viewers showcase. Again, keep posting your pictures. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, the link is down below. Answer Dom's questions 3, so that ye may be admitted entrance into the hallowed group of the Book of Face. Just keep posting what you're doing. Very inspiring, especially 20 mil stuff. That's very inspiring as well.
By next week, you're going to have been on AB Miniatures and just done a massive order.
Sure. Yes. That's not fair because I've got such weak willpower. Because again, everyone just keeps painting. Just the 20 mil. It's a scale I've never painted before. I've never painted 20 mil ever.
Just admit to yourself, Steve, and just go ahead and do it. Just don't prolong the agony.
I'll probably sit down and I'll come away with something like Marvel Crisis Protocol or Battlefield Gothic or something, just something completely. It's just one of those things where you sit down to buy something. I know a guy once, my mate Paul. He was once sent into town to book a holiday to Mexico by his girlfriend, and on the way to the travel agents, he got waylaid by a guitar shop, and he bought a guitar instead of booking a holiday to Mexico. And
didn't go well for his future.
Well, he was single 24 hours later. But he had a nice Dimebag Darrell style guitar. Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, every cloud and all that.
Every cloud. He was happy with his life choices. Anyway, we're currently into overtime. 1 minute past 10.
What? That's awesome.
More overtime. Big thank you to every. I don't know. If I buy any 20 mil, there's going to be hell to pay.
Who's going to?
I really hope he does.
Quick question before we go. What's a good Star Wars game? Legion.
I enjoy Legion, but I know there's people that don't. But I do enjoy Legion and X-Wing. If you play
X-Wing is fantastic. Armada.
I've heard good things about Shatterpoint. If you want to spend loads and loads of money, like I convinced my friend to do, so I could play it. But
Tim, go on to the Fantasy Flight website. There's loads of Star Wars stuff on there. Again, big thank you to everyone that showed up and left comments and engaged with us on this fine Monday night. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out for an additional 5% off your already nicely discounted purchase. And a big thank you to everyone that's watching this on the catch-up. There, I've been through it all. Like, subscribe, share. I hate doing that. Right, we'll be back next week on someone else's channel. Who's next week? It's me. Martin. Do we have a theme?
It was the one that Jerry came up with that I've forgotten what it is, but I'll watch last week's episode to remind myself what it is.
Right.
And that's what we're going to be doing. If failing that, if I forget to do that, I've got a backup, but I can't remember what that one is either, because the piece of paper I write down my little notes on has been removed by a child. So yeah, but it'll be up. I'll get it.
Right. So we'll be over on Martin Seven Sun channel next week. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I hope your hobby projects go well. Keep posting them in the Facebook group, and we shall see you all next Monday night. See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good week. Bye-bye.
Nope.
What are you doing?